GDP in the United States is collapsing. The government's deficits are exploding. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call this event, in hindsight, the cookening. You want to know why? Because America is cooked. We're done. We're going to zero. We're about to go extinct. It's over. Brace yourselves. So I did some digging into the federal government deficit spending. And the federal government apparently has already spent $1.3 trillion more on government services than they collected in tax revenue. Okay? What does that mean? That means our national debt in 6 months for the fiscal year 2025, from October to March, has gone up by $1.3 trillion. But it gets even worse. So government projections were saying that the total deficit for 2025, fiscal year 2025, was going to be $1.9 trillion. $1.9 trillion. That was going to be the increase in our national debt. They were actually very, very off. So the Treasury released a report that I read through where they said, hey, we thought we only had to borrow 100 or 200 billion in the third quarter of 2025 fiscal year. That would be April to June 2025. Instead, we think we need to borrow $514 billion. The Treasury is also projecting that they need to borrow $544 billion from July to September of 2025. Do you know what that does to our deficit? Instead of the $1.9 trillion that was projected, our deficit with the newest projections is going to be $2.37 trillion. The United States of fake economy America is going to borrow $2.37 trillion more than they collect in tax revenue. And this is after the Doge cuts. And I suspect this is going to get worse. The projections are underestimating deficits because we're about to start a freaking recession in the United States. Now, as a comparison, in the fiscal year 2024, this was last year, the total year's borrowings, the total year's deficit was $1.832 trillion. We're going from $1.832 trillion to $2.375 trillion of deficit spending year over year. That is an increase of 29.62%. And I think that's an understatement. I think it's going to get worse. And we want to cut taxes? Oh, we are geniuses in America. So our GDP, our projected GDP for fiscal year 2025 is somewhere around $30 trillion, okay? So we're still projecting GDP growth, but oh wait, we just had GDP contraction in the first quarter of 2025, but whatever. So GDP is expected to be roughly $30 trillion for fiscal year 2025. The deficit as a percentage of GDP is just going to be under 8%, 7.91% with my napkin math. We are running astronomical deficits, and it's getting worse, and Doge is failing. And now we want to cut taxes on top of that. And we're about to go into a recession probably, which is going to force the government to spend more, and tax collections are going to go down. Oh my God, it is so over. It's over, boyo. Accept it. Now, we got some news on the GDP front, okay? Gross domestic product, the national income. Q1 2025, GDP contracted 0.3%. And that was before Liberation Day. Our gross domestic product contracted 0.3%. And you want to know why? Was it Biden? Was it Biden? No. It was because companies around the United States had a massive surge in imports from overseas. Imports surged 41%. Do you want to know why? Because they're front-running tariffs. And when you calculate GDP, you subtract imports. Imports reduce GDP. Exports increase it, imports reduce it. So if you have a massive surge in imports and, no really increase in exports, no offsetting increase in exports, it's going to suck away GDP. This is all being caused by Trump. Okay? You can point the blame at nobody but Trump. And the plans for the government are insane. We are insane what we're doing. We have lost our minds. So our GDP contracted 0.3% thanks to a surge in imports. Personal consumption increased 1.8% in the first quarter before Liberation Day. Now, all these tariffs, the impact isn't going to percolate yet. All these businesses front-ran the tariffs so they could have their inventory, not pay a fortune for it, and they could continue to stock shelves. Once those stocks run out, those inventory reserves run out, and we have to start charging tariffs on all the new imports coming in, you think personal consumption is going to go up? No, people are going to pull back. People are crapping their pants because of Liberation Day. So our GDP is contracting. It probably will continue to contract into the second quarter of 2025. And guess what? The government's deficits are going to explode even more. And we're going to have a Liz Truss moment. Okay, basically it's what happened in England when they tried to pass unfunded tax cuts. Donald Trump, I believe his tax cut plan might actually fail because the bond market will riot. Our spending is out of control. We don't care. More spending, more debt. Doesn't matter. U.S. stocks, bro. It's insane. These are not good numbers. A 30% roughly increase in the deficit is projected for this year versus last year. Our GDP is contracting. Things are not looking good, people. Anyway, what do you think? Are you still bullish on U.S. stocks? Or are you starting to crap your pants a little bit? I've been pooping my pants a little bit, okay? Like, subscribe, check out the pinned comment. I offer a variety of services, tax preparation, any state in the United States, business and personal. I do bookkeeping for any small businesses that need their books in order so they don't have no idea what's going on in their freaking business. I do sponsored videos, $50 a pop. I have a book, Stop Being a Broke Loser. It's on Amazon. And I do one-on-one consulting. All in the pinned comment below. Give me your money and have a wonderful U.S. Stock Bro day.